holiness envelops everything I see. My 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 holiness envelops whatever you're looking at. Say, fill in the blank. My holiness envelops. My holiness envelops that. My holiness envelops. My holiness envelops that. Are you filling in the blanks? Like if I told you what I'm seeing, it would be something like this. My holiness envelops that turkey standing right there. My holiness envelops that dog laying in the sun. How you doing? My holiness envelops. My holiness envelops. My holiness envelops everything I see. My holiness envelops everything I see. Well, just so that you can see what I was talking about, there's my old tom turkey. Can you see that tom turkey there? And then over here, that was my tom turkey I was looking at. And over here, there's a little dog laying in the sun. Anyway, just whatever your eye sees when you look around is all you do today. And you'll do that throughout the day. Aim for every hour or so. Try to close your eyes and tell yourself, my holiness envelops everything I see. Open your eyes and pick out a thing or two. My holiness envelops that tree. My holiness envelops whatever you're looking at. And then close your eyes again and say, my holiness envelops everything I see. And then do that for a little longer, 4 times today. Okay? For long periods, he wants us to do 4 3 to 5 minute practice periods where we do just that. And then throughout the day, just a short, for just a moment. My holiness envelops everything I see. You don't have to close your eyes if you're driving or something, but if you're at a place where you can close your eyes and say it once or twice, and then open your eyes and pick a thing or two, and then close your eyes and say it again, that'd be ideal for one of your shorter practice periods. Okay, well, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I'm Forgiveness Willie, teaching forgiveness from the Ozarks. And we're ready for lesson 36 for Thursday, February the 5th of 2026. It's actually Groundhog Day for me. I get these things done a few days early so I can get them uploaded. My holiness envelops everything I see. So let's read through it. And thank you all so much for joining me. Today's idea extends the idea for yesterday from the perceiver to the perceived. You are holy because your mind is part of God's. And because you are holy, your sight must be holy as well. Sinless means without sin. You cannot be without sin a little. You are sinless or not. If your mind is part of God's, you must be sinless, or a part of His mind would be sinful. Didn't that make sense? If God's omniscient, the way I've always kind of looked at that, if God's omnipresent, let's get the right word here this time. If God's everywhere, God's omnipresent, then that means that God is part of me. And so there's a part of me, the part that God is, that is not sinful because God is sinless. Okay, that's the idea. If your mind is part of God's, you must be sinless, or a part of His mind would be sinful. Your sight is related to His holiness. Your sight is related to God's holiness, or a part of, your sight is related to His holiness, not to your ego, and therefore not to your body. 4 3 to 5 minute practice periods are required for today. Try to distribute them fairly evenly and make the shorter applications frequently to protect your protection throughout the day. Try to distribute them fairly evenly and make the shorter applications frequently to protect your protection throughout the day. The longer practice period should take this form. First, close your eyes and repeat the idea for today several times. My holiness envelops everything I see. Says first, close your eyes and repeat the idea for today several times slowly. Then open your eyes and look quite slowly about you, applying the idea specifically to whatever you note in your casual survey. Say, for example, my holiness envelops that rug. My holiness envelops that wall. My holiness envelops these fingers. My holiness envelops that chair. My holiness envelops that body. My holiness envelops this pen. Several times during these practice periods, close your eyes and repeat the idea to yourself. Then open your eyes and continue as before. For the shorter exercise periods, close your eyes and repeat the idea. Look about you as you repeat it again and conclude with one more repetition with your eyes closed. All applications should, of course, be made quite slowly, as effortlessly and unhurriedly as possible. And of course, in our day and age where we're sometimes drive all day long, don't use the excuse, well, I can't do my shorter practice period because I can't close my eyes while I'm driving. Do it with your eyes open. You don't have to close it for a moment. I mean, you could blink, I suppose, and not miss a beat in driving, but you don't have to. What I'm trying to say is, he says that the course is supposed to be we're dealing with what is practical. So if you've got a cross-country trip and you know you're going to be driving for the next 16 hours, well, don't let there be 16 hours where you don't do your lesson. Of course, you're probably going to stop and get gas and potty stop and all that. But don't wait for just that. Let this be in your mind. Sing it. Say it. My holiness envelops everything I see. Okay? Try to keep that tune with you if it helps you. Okay, let's go take a look in our text reading. We're in chapter 4 and Roman numeral 5. Chapter 4, the illusions of the ego. Roman numeral 5, the ego-body illusion. And maybe this is, while you're turning, there's a good time for me to just give your multiple year students your next assignment would be original edition, chapter 4, section 7, Mark chapter 8 in the Bible, Iyengar Yoga. Go ahead and page 52 and 53. We may spend a couple days, maybe even longer. It's going to be challenging asana for me. So we may stay on it for a couple days till we really got it down as good as expected. And then out of A Course of Love, chapter 9, paragraphs 8 through 24. Okay, the ego-body illusion. All things work together for good. Boy, isn't that nice? And it's Romans 8 and verse 28. And when we get to our things that are going around the world today, it's Optimists' Day. Well, you know what? How could you not be an optimist if you believed this passage out of Romans 8:28, the very first phrase in it? All things work together for good. Okay? Now then Romans 8:28 it also says all things work together for good to those who love God and are called according to his purpose. But he's going to explain that everything works together for good, period. Now those other things, I think, are what Paul, or the author of Romans, was saying, was that you're not going to know that all things work together for good unless you're called to love, unless you are completely immersed in his purpose. Okay? But that still doesn't change the fact that everything's working for the good all the time. So we can be eternal optimists. All things work together for good. There are no exceptions except in the ego's judgment. The ego exerts maximal vigilance about what it permits into awareness, and this is not the way a balanced mind holds together. The ego is thrown further off balance because it keeps its primary motivation from your awareness and raises control rather than sanity to predominance. The ego has every reason to do this, according to the thought system which gave rise to it and which it serves. Sane judgment would inevitably judge against the ego and must be obliterated by the ego in the interest of its self-preservation. Okay. Sane judgment would inevitably judge against the ego and must be obliterated by the ego in the interest of its self-preservation. Paragraph 2. A major source of the ego's off-balanced state is its lack of discrimination between the body and the thoughts of God. Thoughts of God are unacceptable to the ego because they clearly point to the non-existence of the ego itself. The ego, therefore, either distorts them or refuses to accept them. It cannot, however, make them cease to be. It therefore tries to conceal not only unacceptable body impulses. Unacceptable body impulses, what would that be? Well, we could name several. Passing gas sometimes is an unacceptable body which is, this is International Fart Day. I noticed on holidays and observances. Anyway, the ego therefore either distorts them or refuses to accept them. It cannot, however, make them cease to be. It therefore tries to conceal not only unacceptable body impulses, but also the thoughts of God, because both are threatening to it. Being concerned primarily with its own preservation in the face of threat, the ego perceives them as the same. By perceiving them as the same, the ego attempts to save itself from being swept away, as it would surely be in the presence of knowledge. Paragraph 3. Any thought system that confuses God and the body must be insane. Any thought system that confuses God and the body must be insane. Yet this confusion is essential to the ego, which judges only in terms of threat or non-threat to itself. In one sense, the ego's fear of God is at least logical, since the idea of him does dispel the ego. But fear of the body, with which the ego identifies so closely, makes no sense at all. Paragraph 4. The body is the ego's home by its own election. It is the only identification with which the ego feels safe, since the body's vulnerability is its own best argument that you cannot be of God. This is the belief that the ego sponsors eagerly. Yet the ego hates the body because it cannot accept it as good enough to be its home. Here is where the mind becomes actually dazed. Being told by the ego that it is really part of the body and that the body is its protector, the mind is also told that the body cannot protect it. Therefore, the mind asks, "Where can I go for protection?" To which the ego replies, "Turn to me." The mind, and not without cause, reminds the ego that it has itself insisted that it is identified with the body, so there is no point in turning to it for protection. See, this is what the mind's doing. He's telling us what our minds are doing, which we didn't know. If we spent enough time in the silence, we might have figured it out, but he's saving us a lot of time. The ego has no real answer to this because there is none, but it does have a typical solution. It obliterates the question from the mind's awareness. Once out of awareness, the question can and does produce uneasiness, but it cannot be answered because it cannot be asked. All the busyness that your mind is involved with, doing something here and there, not taking time to be still and quiet, that's all the, oftentimes, maybe always, the busyness of the ego trying to keep you all stirred up so you don't ask really important questions like this one we just looked at in paragraph 4. Okay, paragraph 5. This is the question that must be asked. Where can I go for protection? Where can I go for protection? Seek and ye shall find does not mean that you should seek blindly and desperately for something you would not recognize. And of course, seek and ye shall find is something that Jesus said, was recorded as saying in Matthew chapter 7, 7 and 8. Meaningful seeking is consciously undertaken, consciously organized, and consciously directed. Meaningful seeking is done consciously. The goal must be formulated clearly and kept in mind. Learning and wanting to learn are inseparable. You best learn when you believe what you are trying to learn is of value to you. However, not everything you may want to learn has lasting value. Indeed, many of the things you want to learn may be chosen because their value will not last. Paragraph 6. Now, last paragraph here. The ego thinks it is an advantage not to commit itself to anything that is eternal, because the eternal must come from God. Eternalness is the one function the ego has tried to develop, but has systematically failed to achieve. Is that what cryonics is all about? The ego compromises with the issue of the eternal, just as it does with all issues touching on the real question in any way. By becoming involved with tangential issues, it hopes to hide the real question and keep it out of mind. It's keep all stirred up with busyness of this world is how I look at it. Always so busy trying to take care of survival and for being happy that we don't just stop and let God's voice be heard. The ego's characteristic busyness with non-essentials is for precisely that purpose. Preoccupation with problems set up to be incapable of solutions are favorite ego devices for impeding learning progress. Preoccupation with problems set up to be incapable of solution are favorite ego devices for impeding learning. This is the question that you must learn to ask in connection with everything. What is the purpose? What is the purpose? Whatever it is, it will direct your efforts automatically. When you make a decision of purpose, Then you have made a decision about your future effort, a decision that will remain in effect unless you change your mind. Okay, well, what's it for? You know, what are we doing this for? Why am I going here and doing this? I've got to get there quickly. Why do you have to get there quickly? What for? He says, ask that about everything. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on around the world today. And remember to do your lessons often today. My holiness envelops everything I see. Remember, the shorter practice periods will be close your eyes for a moment. My holiness envelops everything I see. Say that time or two. My holiness envelops everything I see. Then open your eyes and look around and say, well, my holiness envelops that juniper tree. My holiness envelops that screen. My holiness envelops that snowdrift. Okay, whatever you're looking at. And then close your eyes again. My holiness envelops everything I see. And then open your eyes and bring that idea with you throughout the day. And do that every few minutes throughout today. And then be sure to do a longer period of that for 3 minutes, up to 5 or longer if you want, 4 times today. Okay, let's see. It's World Interfaith Harmony Week. For the Sikhs, it's birthday of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, which was the 10th Sikh Guru. And out of holidays and observances, American diplomat Adlai Stevenson Day, 1900 to 1965. Diplomat and politician. Disaster Day. Today's Disaster Day. We can learn to laugh at disaster. Feast of St. Agatha Day. Feast of St. Agatha. International Clash Day. And Clash is a band that uses music to raise social consciousness, which I think that's a wonderful way. You know, a lot of these songs that are coming out right now about Minnesota, you can look up some of them. Isn't it nice? Isn't it so much nicer when people feel something to make a song? And now that we've got the internet, we can all hear it. And what a beautiful way to affect change is by singing songs. My holiness envelops everything I see. We'll affect some social consciousness. Move Hollywood and Broadway to Lebanon, Pennsylvania Day. A holiday they have there in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Fart Day, I told you about. Unacceptable Body Impulse Day. Primrose Day. The common primrose, the Primula vulgaris, is what we think of as a primrose, I expect, at least what I do. But there are 450 to 500 different species of primrose. Sweater Day in Canada this time. Weather Person's Day. Optimist's Day. All things work together for good. Period. You become an eternal optimist. See the sunny side in everything. God's always shining. The light's always there. Fear is an illusion. Love is the only reality. Shower with a Friend Day. That was actually something that started with a chlorine removing filter, and I guess they had several people, putting in your filter. You might as well take a shower together, I guess. I mean, it's also come to be known as I looked it up. It's a water saving idea. Shower with a friend. 2 people shower at the same time, save water. And an intimate bonding opportunity. Western Monarch Day, the Danaeus plexippus, which, those monarchs eat only milkweed, the Asclepius genera, and there's over 100 species. And then I've got out of Baker Creek Heirloom Scene, we've got the Taiwan yard-long bean. And it says this is a true yard-long bean that can easily reach over 3 feet in length, get high yields from a small space. The vines set a heavy crop of these delicious pods that will amaze your friends. We love these beans stir-fried. They have superior flavor to common beans. The dried beans are black in color and make a superb cooking bean. This rare variety was brought to America by a Taiwanese immigrant in around 1970. This versatile Asian bean has garnered the nickname asparagus bean for its crisp texture reminiscent of the favorite seasonal delicacy. Also called noodle bean, the young pods make a perfect spaghetti substitute. This is the longest bean we have seen, reaching over 3 feet in length. Unbelievably, yard-long beans of yesteryear were even longer. Here at Baker Creek, we have been searching for these extra long beans from antiquity. A look back at the 1930 edition of the Oriental Seed Company shows a listing for a Chinese 6-foot runner bean, which is described as over 6 feet in length and as thin as a lead pencil with no string. Be sure to contact us if you have seed on the 6-foot bean. If you may have seed on the 6-foot bean. Okay, well, they're trying, and it's not a, it's a different genera and species. These Taiwan yard-long beans, they're a Vigna unguiculata, not the Phaseus vulgar Phaseolus. Is that what I said? How the other ones we've been doing are the, I don't even remember what they were now. Anyway, they're not the common green bean. They're a different genus and species. These yard-long Taiwanese. Okay, let's do one of our 3-minute practice periods as we close. And our word will be from the Somali people, Nabad. Nabad. Peace be with you, Nabad. My holiness envelops everything I see. Oh, my holiness envelops everything I see. Then open your eyes and look around. My holiness envelops that juniper. Oh, my holiness envelops whatever you are seeing. Oh, my holiness envelops envelops my holiness envelops. Look around and tell yourself, my holiness envelops that, and you name it. My holiness envelops me. Then occasionally close your eyes and say, my holiness envelops everything I see. My holiness envelops everything I see. Then open your eyes again and say, my holiness envelops that. My holiness envelops. My holiness envelops. My holiness envelops everything I see. My holiness envelops everything I see. And out with our Somali brothers and sisters, we say, Nabad. Peace be with you, Nabad. My holiness envelops everything I see. Nabad.